Hey, Bob.
When can we leave this city?
I'm trying to get this over with as quick as I can, then you can go.
Good.
But Samuel's probably going to have to come back and testify. I'm sorry.
No, you're not so glad.
I'm glad?
Because now you have a witness.
Yeah, now I got a witness.
I just don't like my son spending all his time with a man who carries a gun and goes around whacking people.
Whacking? Whacking?
Witness is a 1985 crime thriller film directed by Peter Weir that would find critical acclaim and high box office success. In an Amish community outside of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, an Amish woman named Rachel Lapp, played by Kelly McGillis, attends the funeral of her husband, Jacob. Rachel and her 8-year-old son, Samuel, played by Lucas Haas, travel by train to visit Rachel's sister in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, he's a cute little Amish boy. Cute? I think so.
We have tickets to Baltimore. Where is that train, please?
Delayed 3 hours. You'll hear it announced when it's time to board. Just take a seat right over. Just take a seat right over. I have to wait on these people. Yes, sir.
While waiting for a connecting train at the 30th Street station in Philadelphia, Samuel goes into the men's room.
Hey, man.
Philadelphia Police Captain John Book, played by Harrison Ford, and Sergeant Elton Carter, played by Brent Jennings, arrive to the crime scene to question Samuel. Samuel turns out to be a fantastic witness.
Sam, the man who was killed tonight was a policeman. It's my job to find out what happened. I want you to tell me everything you saw when you went in the bathroom.
There were two.
Were two men?
I only saw one.
Does anybody know about this?
No. Nobody's had a chance to talk to him.
What did he look like? The man that you saw.
He was like him.
Was a black man? He had black skin?
Yeah. But not stumpig.
Stumpig? What's stumpig?
On a farm, when a pig is born small like that, he's stumpig. A runt.
So he wasn't a runt. He was a big guy? Like me?
Big guy.
Book takes Rachel and Samuel into a seedy area in downtown Philadelphia, hoping for a quick identification of the cop killer.
What the fuck? Got a green, man! Let's get his arm. Hey!
Is this the man, Sam? Is this him?
Hey!
You sure? Back off.
You listen to me. I want no further part of this, nor does my son.
Okay, get back in the car.
He ain't no citizen. Where you coming from with that?
Rachel is not happy with their predicament.
You have no right to keep us here.
Yes, I do. Your son's a material witness to a homicide.
You don't understand. We want nothing to do with your laws.
Doesn't surprise me. A lot of people I meet are like that.
Was ist sein Name?
Man will nichts wissen von ihm.
What did he say?
He asked who you are. Your name. I told him we didn't need to know anything about you.
Book. John Book.
Worried that Rachel and Samuel will leave the city, John arranges for the Amish mother and son to stay at the home of his sister Elaine, played by Patti LuPone.
I told you I had company.
Where's Jason and Billy?
Upstairs asleep.
You got a man in the house and the kids are upstairs?
That's none of your business. So keep your holier-than-thou mouth shut. Anyway, they like Fred.
Fred? Now we got a Fred.
Who are these orphans, anyway?
They're Amish.
Book shows Samuel various mugshots and police lineups, hoping to identify the killer, all to no avail. Eventually, Samuel spots the killer in a newspaper clipping. Narcotics Lieutenant James McPhee, played by Danny Glover. Book investigates McPhee, discovering that McPhee was responsible for a case involving missing drug chemicals. He relays this information to Chief Paul Schaefer, played by Joseph Summer.
Philadelphia supplies all the major cities in the country with speed. They need this P2P stuff to make the speed. They pay up to $5,000 a pint for it. I call police storage. No record of 10 55-gallon drums of P2P. That's $22 million, Paul. And guess who ran the raid 4 years ago?
McPhee.
Right.
Have you talked to him about it?
No, vacation, Florida.
All right, what do you need to clean this up?
People from outside the department.
I want maximum security on this. Where's the boy?
My sister's house.
He's gonna have to be moved. Who else knows about this?
Just you and I.
Let's leave it that way.
Walking through the parking garage of his apartment, Book soon comes face to face with McPhee. With a bleeding bullet wound and knowing that Schaefer is corrupt and tipped off McPhee, Book tells Carter to hide the files on Rachel and Samuel and drives them back to their farm outside of Lancaster. Rachel insists that Book be taken to a hospital, but he reminds her that if he goes to a hospital, the criminals would find him.
Why didn't you get to a hospital?
No, doctor. Gunshot wound. They have to make a report. And if they make a report, they'll find me. If they find me, they find the boy.
Rachel's father-in-law, Eli, played by Jan Rubis, allows the family to shelter Book. Battling through a couple of days of fever and delirium, Book eventually recovers and finds himself as an odd addition to the Lapp farm.
We're all very happy that you're going to live, John Book. We didn't know what we were going to do with you if you died.
After Samuel touches John's gun, John explains to him the dangers. Rachel still laments her frustration, and Eli decides to have a talk with his grandson.
This gun of the hand is for the taking of human life. We believe it is wrong to take life. That is only for God. Would you kill another man?
I would only kill a bad man.
Only the bad man, I see. And you know these bad men by sight? You are able to look into their hearts and see this badness?
I can see what they do. I have seen it.
Eli asks if Book would be interested in helping out around the farm. Book agrees.
Milking stool. Milking hat. Where's the milk? Firm grip. Pinch the top off. And squeeze. Did you hear me? Squeeze.
I am squeezing.
You never had your hands on a teat before?
Not one this big.
During his stay, John and Rachel begin to develop an attraction towards each other, something strictly forbidden in the Amish ordinance.
Don't know much about the French actor,
but I do know that I love you, and I know that if you love me too, what a wonderful world this would be. much about geography. Don't know much trigonometry. Don't know much about algebra. Don't know what a slide rule is for. But I do know 1 and 1 is 2. And if this one could be with you, what a wonderful world this would be.
The Amish community begins to welcome Book, seeing that he is good at carpentry and is a decent, hard-working man. He irritates Daniel Hochleitner, played by Alexander Gutenoff, who has been hoping to court the widowed Rachel himself. However, the attraction between Book and Rachel soon becomes evident to everyone within the Amish community.
You know, there has been talk about going to the bishop and having you shunned.
It is idle talk.
Oh, do not take it lightly, Rachel. They can do it. They can do it just like that. Do not go so far.
I'm not a child.
But you are acting like one.
I'll be the judge of that.
No. They will be the judge of that, and so will I. If you shame me.
You shame yourself.
When Book heads into town and tries to contact Carter, he finds out that Carter has been killed. Book calls Schaefer directly at home, vowing to hunt him down.
Calling me at home. I can't trace the call. That's smart, John. Very smart.
Lost the meaning, didn't you, Paul?
What?
Isn't that what you used to say? About dirty cops? Somewhere along the way they lost the meaning?
Don't make it difficult, John. We know where you are. We're about to...
No, you got it wrong, man. I'm coming to get you.
I like your style, John. I've always liked your style.
I'm gonna do to you whatever you did to Zanovich. And whatever you did to Carter, I'm gonna fucking do that to you too, you asshole.
Trying to leave town, they are harassed by a group of locals, with John Book deciding to stand up and retaliate.
It's not our way.
But it's my way.
No!
How's it look?
It looks great. Give it to me.
Oh, okay. Smell this. Good.
Oh,
Here comes another one. Look at this. Woo! Woo!
It's all right, Book.
Hey, watch it, Frank. He's going to hit you with his Bible.
Oh. You're making a mistake.
Hey.
Boo!
With the assault reported to local police, Book knows that it is only a matter of time before Schaefer and the other killers find where he is and come after the boy. The story for Witness was originally a plot outline for a 1972 episode of the CBS television series Gunsmoke. William Kelly and Earl W. Wallace had been writers on Gunsmoke, and their original story had Marshall Dillon traveling to an Amish farm looking for a witness to a murder. Both men collaborated on the screenplay for this film. Parts of this movie were filmed in and around Lancaster County in Pennsylvania, including around downtown Lancaster. The movie was also shot on the Paul Krantz farm in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. It was filmed in the spring of 1984. Jack Nicholson and Sylvester Stallone were offered the role of John Book, but each of them turned it down. Kevin Costner, Mel Gibson, Clint Eastwood, and Richard Gere were also considered. Harrison Ford and Peter Weir developed such a good working relationship that Ford immediately signed on to star in Weir's next project, the 1986 film The Mosquito Coast. Kelly McGillis was working in a Greenwich Village, New York coffee house when she got the role in this movie. Harrison Ford and Peter Weir went there to see her and offered her the role in person. The climax was inspired in part by the 1952 classic film High Noon, in which an outnumbered man takes out his foes one by one using his wits and ingenuity. The nighttime scene of Book and Rachel dancing in the barn was actually filmed during the day, and it was very, very hot. The barn was blacked out and sealed, which is why both Harrison Ford and Kelly McGillis perspire so much in the scene. The song heard during the scene is the 1960 hit Wonderful World by Sam Cooke. Peter Weir said that if Harrison Ford had to sing and dance to it, he could choose whatever song he wanted. However, the version of the song heard in the film is not Sam Cooke's original, which would have been too expensive, but rather a rendition performed by Greg Chapman. As realistic as the actors playing background roles as Amish people are, no actual Amish people were in the film because they do not, as stated correctly in the movie, like to be photographed. They were intensely interested in filming, though, and many Amish people were often out of camera range, politely watching the filming. Rachel asks John, "Do you know carpentry?" And he replies, "A bit." Harrison Ford was a carpenter before he became an actor. This film marked actor Viggo Mortensen's feature film debut and was Alexander Goodenoug's English language film debut. In preparation for her role, Kelly McGillis lived with an actual Amish widow and her 7 children for a little while before filming began to get the speech cadence down and to observe the daily life of an Amish widowed mother. Harrison Ford spent time with the Philadelphia Police Department's Homicide Division to research his role as a detective. He even joined them on numerous calls and raids. This was the first starring role that broke Harrison Ford away from the science fiction and fantasy genre that made him famous. Witness had its world premiere at the Fulton Opera House in Lancaster, Pennsylvania on February 7, 1985. The following day, it was released in theaters nationwide. Eventually, Witness grossed a total of $116.1 million, becoming one of the top 10 grossing films of 1985 in the United States. President Ronald Reagan screened the film twice at Camp David in February 1985. The film was very highly acclaimed by critics. Siskel and Ebert enjoyed it greatly.
When you are in a movie, and it's that scene right what we saw there before, when the kid is walking around at the police station headquarters, I'm going to compliment this Peter Weir a lot. Hitchcock wouldn't have directed it any better. It's thrilling. We feel the tension. We take out the natural sound. We go to music. We're captivated. And then this awful discovery. Everyone's in jeopardy. And now the director has us. And we will go anywhere, and he takes us to 2 fresh places. The Amish community, and then back to the city, but viewed through the Amish eye.
Often on this program, we've talked about thrillers that think that the mechanism of the thriller is enough to give you a movie. We have enough gunshots and enough action and a chase and a big explosion at the end. That's a movie. This is a thriller that deals with the situation that they get into and then makes these into people who are involved in the situation.
It would win Best Original Screenplay and Best Film Editing at the 58th Academy Awards in 1986, and Harrison Ford was nominated for Best Actor. I first saw this film about 14 or 15 years after it came out, and I find it quite enjoyable. This is a good example of a thriller that keeps the audience interested, but is not a constant shoot-'em-up action movie. I think it has really good pacing because it never gets boring, and the acting is fantastic. Lucas Haas does a great job as the young boy, and the sexual attraction between Harrison Ford and Kelly McGillis dancing in the barn all sweaty, that's some of the best eye contact chemistry I've ever seen on screen.
History. Biology. Science book.
I highly recommend the 1985 thriller, Witness.